So if you've had any creations, any ideas, any projects, or there's anything that you've just been doing where the ideas have been there, then and you haven't been seeing any tangible results yet, then we've got a feeling you may be starting to see some tangible results. And we've got the High Priestess, which looks like 11 in Roman numerals. Tito Pomomono! That Three of Wands card really wants to come out lots, doesn't it? So I've got two more. So two more, or we'll choose two. We'll choose two. So now we are on to Leo, the opposite of Aquarius, because that pulls the tension and slack in. So Azrael, Angel of Death. This is Leo's now. 8 of Cups. Can we comment on this? 142, Leo. I don't know that we can. Let's just see. Because it'd be a lot easier to put a comment in and see. Oh, smaller hole. Sorry. No. Okay. That's okay. We'll come back and come through it. 8 of Cups. A-L-L. I-L. Oh, I can't say that. It's number 67. God, the pleasures of man. God, the pleasure of man's children. So we're talking about pleasures and sensory systems, but being able to balance them and moderate them, not let devil energies take over. Which for us is the 5th limb of yoga, pratyahara, freedom from the desires of the senses. Doesn't mean not to enjoy the senses. It just means one is able to enjoy the senses in moderation, number 14, with self-discipline, number 41. Transformation, it gives consolation in adversity. And Leo is the heart and the upper back. We have the High Priestess, number 3, 3 of Wands, 8 of Cups. Tito Pomo. So we've got the 8 of Cups twice in here. 88 is the number of manifestation. We have the Tower, we have the 9 of Pentacles, and we have the 4 of Pentacles. So the light and the dark of the journeying inwards for Leo energetics, upper back and heart area. Angel of Death, completion again. That was the end. Actually, that was the ending of their sacral cycle, oldest sacral cycle completion for Aquarius. Aquarius is the opposite of Leo. So depending, we are talking about the inner energetics. So it depends where the threads go. You could be talking about the outer energetics of Aquarius, which could be the calves and ankles, the outer calves and ankles, going to the inner energetics of Leo. So for you, you may wish to just have a look to see what is in your Leo, what is in your Aquarius, planets wise. And that will bring more layers on, rather than just being like the collective of the calves and the ankles. And we're coming into Leo energies soon in August, because they're at their opposite, they're at their furthest apart. So there's this link, there's a connection between the furthest apart energetics of completion, of completion and death cycles, oldest, deepest trauma cycles ending. I mean, what fabulous, what fantastic news. So that your transformation can take place, and then so that you can actually face situations of adversity, of challenge, of conflict without being triggered. Or if you are triggered, you're able to breathe and gently hold a container for it until there's a safe space for you and whoever's around you to be able to release any final layers of that. So rather than it having control of you, you're getting to the cycle, being able to control it, because you've tapped in to your High Priestess energies, the Moon card, the ruler of Cancer, Cancer is the next sun. We're in the sun season of Cancer now. So there's maybe connections between your Leo and your Cancer in your chart, or there may be connections between your moon and your Leo in your chart, or between, you may look, there might be a planet in your Leo that's connected to Cancer or the moon. There's all this different patronology that could go on and go about. If you look at her, she's also putting a hand up. You can't really see there, but the white here is a reflection of her. The illusions, Neptune retrograde today. Be with the illusions and the dreams that come up, and make friends, put your hand up to it, connect, do some mirror dancing, do some mirror talking, do some mirror affirmations or singing. Connect with your fluid self. And that's for us, connecting us into the Aquarius read again, because there was a lot of fire in the Aquarius read. And of course, the Three of Wands was the Three of Wands in Aquarius, and the Three of Wands here came up into Aquarius. So you've got the connection, the portal and the gateway of the Three of Wands into Aquarius. And so what she's doing in this picture, she's curled up with a towel on her head. We saw there's a lady that walked past walking her dog, and she either didn't want her hair getting wet, or she'd just got out of her shower, but she had a big towel wrapped around her head as she was walking past walking the dog. So she's got a nice cup of hot chocolate, a towel wrapped around her head, and she's in a dressing gown, feet up in front of the fire. And if you look closely there through the window, the mailman is delivering some stuff. So you may get some lovely post coming through. You may get some post coming through that isn't so lovely, but that will be the completion and the end of something. And so even though the contents aren't necessarily considered lovely, it's lovely because there's this relief, there's this weight lifted from your shoulders, and you've taken a nice Epsom salt bath to also release the muscles in your body, because you've been doing a lot of tabletop study, bending forwards, sitting forwards, and there's a lot of tension being building up in your upper back, because Leo is the upper back in the heart. And so releasing those tensions in the upper back is really needed. And there's fairies. Again, they've got a candle, but it's unlit. And this is the Eight of Cups here, and this is the Eight of Cups. This is an angel looking like he's looking down. It's almost like he's turned up a vessel upside down, and he's almost looking to see if something's going to come out of it. So you're completing, you're purging, you're releasing. What word are we looking for? You're releasing frequencies that are causing stress and dissonance and overwhelm with all the books in front of her there. And it's almost like she can't even see the one that's far away that's lit up. And that's reminding us of, probably because we're dyslexic, if you've got 100 books and one of those books had all the answers you needed to just reach that alignment and that synchronicity and that harmony, having that oscillation minimized, being able to ride those waves when they come, not having to look back over your shoulder to see the waves coming because you're a teacher and you've got eyes in the back of your head because you are your own teacher and your own student. And in one of those books, it's got all the answers. You know, if it's the first book or the second book, fine. But if it's the 100th book, are you going to actually get round to being able to read all of those books to get there? And especially if you're like us and you've got dyslexia, you'd struggle with the first few, especially if you're with the DID and then you can't remember what you've read. So these are tangible books that you can see, but we're almost now speaking metaphysically. So the Akashic Records, there is one book that has all the answers. But you don't need to know where that book is. You don't need to know what it's called. Because that book's going to change depending on each and every moment when you need the guidance. And when you need the guidance, it could be a magazine, and it might not even be a book. It might be the words on the radio or the words on a YouTube thing. It might be maybe just in the title. You don't even necessarily need to watch the YouTube video. It could be in the title. It could be on a drama series you're watching, on a wildlife program. Whenever you're feeling like you're needing a bit of clarity, consciously surrender your conscious mind's need to know and understand. Put words to it if you want to, but what we do, because we can get very confused with it all, we'll just breathe. We'll either have our eyes closed or eyes open, look out the window, connect with Zen, and we'll just hum. We'll connect to our deeper self and our higher self, which is anchored to our heart, by humming, asking for whatever it is that we need to restore balance, restore a bit of balance and harmony. So the feeling of overwhelm doesn't come up. And then it may be in that moment, it may be down the line. I mean, at the moment for us, it's absolutely awesome. It's just like left, right and center. We're getting all this bits of information from everywhere that's really coming together and just creating a really coherent validation for us, which is been just incredible, because there's been so much confusion for so long. And it doesn't mean you may want to then put on the radio or then go to the book, but it may be that an hour or two or day will pass and then you'll go to a book or a magazine or the radio, and then it will come through. But there's been a conscious awareness, intention, without the conscious attachment to know and need to know, because you've surrendered the need to know and understand, being receptive and allowing for what's to come. And yeah, the angel of death again has got a big open book in his hand, and he's pointing to certain words. So most people think of death and those energies as dark and negative, but for us, the energies of death have been some of our driving forces, and it's a very powerful energy, so it needs to be respected, it needs to be navigated with care. And then when the tower moment happens, it's going to have been an invited conscious awareness tower moment that is just going to be barely noticeable. You broke something, you dropped it on the ground. Awesome. You can you can then be creative with that Japanese art of gluing it back together with gold glue, and you've just made something even more beautiful and even more spectacular through the damage, through the break, through the chaos. And it's only her and thing that's red. So that's the red, the root chakra coming back into play again there. And brings you into the Nine of Pentacles, because you finally let your little helpers help you. You finally made friends to those deeper, darker aspects which you didn't like about yourselves. The shame, the fear, the hate, the guilt, the pride, the unserving pride, all those perceived negative, dark emotions. How they're your friends. They've been helping you all along. They were just stunted generational consciousness that didn't know how to communicate to you in the way that you understood, and you didn't know them well enough to listen to what they were telling you. But you've made friends with them now, and you're all just sitting together, standing together, having a look out at that sunset, that sunrise, doing a bit of sun gazing and sun gazing, sunset gazing, sunrise gazing, changing the light refraction in your eyes, changing this. Oh, has that gone off? That's a shame, isn't it? No, it's still there. That means the battery's probably getting low though. Oh well, we might have to end it again. We did attempt to charge them up. Changing the light refraction in the eyes, in the pineal gland, to awaken the third eye even more, to more of a clarity of intuition with the high priestess energies. Because look at the feast in the background. The celebration, the party is about to happen. You've done all the hard work and the cooking and the prep, and now it's just a time of waiting, but not waiting and being bored, just waiting and enjoying the peace and the calm before the excitement of that change of perception of the chaos from the darkness, because one didn't know how to find the order in the chaos, but then one was able to go so deep inside of themselves that they found the eye of the storm, the center of the whirlpool, the calm, amidst the chaos, that then it takes them to a new sense of calm and chaos, calm, ready for the next win of chaos. But it's the opposite of the fear and the anxiety, because the fear and anxiety, when you put it into numbers and you put it into measurable, quantified kind of graphs and visual data imagery, excitement and anxiety and fear and that buzz is all exactly the same. And so you're about to get that coming with the party, with the friends, with the enjoyment. But do remember that when we do have fun and we do have those up moments, to then, you know, what goes up does come down, and there will be a period of a lull. And this is what we get after these lives. And so it makes it challenging sometimes to come back on them, because we almost just want to be just balanced and keep that oscillation of vibration steady. But we're getting to understand that sometimes the peaks and the lows are there and we can manage them. And it is okay to have a peak of a party and a gathering and lots of energy, because now we know ourselves well enough to then know that when that downtime comes and the cupboards look empty, even though there's still jars in that cupboard, that she's still struggling to look to see what she can eat. So, you know, when we're feeling low and we don't have much energy, it's a lot easier to fall into these old habits and patterns of eating food that doesn't necessarily serve us and it's not in our best interest. The creative inspiration isn't so much to just then go, oh look, this is in the cupboard, we don't have much, but we can make this, and this. We're tired, but that's okay. You know, the fourth agreement of the four agreements, just do the best you can in each and every moment, and know that's not always going to be the same. Sometimes you're tired, sometimes you're ill, sometimes you didn't sleep so well, you know, sometimes you've been out lots, sometimes you've got a big project on at work, sometimes it's really hot weather. So you're managing your flow and you're managing your rhythms a lot better, but there's still ups and downs to navigate. I hope that makes sense. Have we been a bit too long? I don't know. Well, we'll find out, won't we? I think that video's probably going to end soon, but that's okay. Keep up on more. You like these cards, don't you? Yeah. Okay. So we're attempting to home in and be a bit quicker. Okay, so it's okay to not be so quick on these ones because we're on the fixed axes, and the fixed axes is the anchoring point axes. Okay, because we've got a new energetics coming in of the cardinal with the nodal shifts. Okay, with the Taurus Scorpio going into Aries and Libra. Okay, and that's why we have the mutable axes in between the fixed and the cardinals, because what we were just saying with those Leo energies, to navigate the change. Oh, we like that one. That reminds us of Salvador Dali. Oh, there's still so many packs of tarot cards we want. Different ones of us. It's like, no more. We're not allowed any more until we do more stuff like this and make use of them for other people and share. So Leo, so we'll get the Aquarius. So this was the Aquarius, number 60, thy earthly power. That was standing out to us earlier. So this is number 10, Nid, shadows and nutrients. This is your Leo. Can you see the skeleton? See the teeth along there? The green is kind of like the skeleton's eye. It's very subtle. The war rune, the fear tune, the battle hymn, the grim song sung too long, the war of one to be one alone. In our shadows, we hold the bloodied ravens fast, whisper a fresh melody in the silence, murder our crows and grow stronger. Poinya's golden key of life. So 10 is karmic completion. We've got 60 and 10. We've got generational numbers there. End of a generation, beginning of a generation. The end is the beginning. So Leo's the heart and the upper back. And of course, we've got the cards away, so I can't really remember the Leo energies. But X marks the spot. And if that's the green eye, it's the right eye. And the left X is going into the left, the X is going into the left eye. So it's a circle green in your right eye. Your left is your masculine, your logical, and that rules your right body. And your right is your feminine, your creative, and that rules your left body, except for the eyes. So it switches left to right, right to left, but not in your eyes. Your left eye goes to your left brain, your right eye goes to your right brain, if we're not mistaken. And this is the linear, it's the line. So your left brain is your logical, is your linear, and your right brain is the creative, the circular. So what does that mean? Switch it up. What does that mean? Whisper a fresh melody. Humming the trauma and the fear away so that the war inside doesn't continue, and the distance between the logical and the creative shortens so that it can make those connections on the neurological pathways through the body. So for instance, what we do, or what one of some of us used to do, and I think which has come up now, and I think we're going to start doing it again, we get a staff, and to stimulate our peripheral nervous system, the staff is a stick. So you could get a broom and take the end off a broom, or you could keep it on and just twiddle it with your fingers. You could do it in front of you, do it above your head, do it behind your back. We also have poi, which are little balls on string. They can be called different things. I think you've got Maoris that dance with them and they call them different. They're circular. So we tend to access the linear with the staff and the circular with the poi. We can't quite access that. So it's something about the movement, something about left and right, brain, body connections, neurological pathway connections, humming and buzzing, in the silence, the pause between the breath, between the retention, shadows, nutrients. No, we'll come back to that one. Might become clearer. So we're going to do Ophiuchus to bring all of this together, and to having gone into the depths of every nook and cranny and shadow of your body from the astrological perspective, bridging it and uniting it with Liffruma. To finally bring all those, the Ophiuchus, the great healer, the serpent bearer, to sew and weave and stitch and dance the final threads together to create that wholeness and that strong, flexible, balanced postural alignment, so that the Kundalini energy can rise up and through and round and down and do what it needs to do.